The Pope is dead. Dead on Easter Day. But that's old news. You've heard about that. You know he's dead. Nobody cares anymore. What they care about was what's next. Who's going to replace him? And I'll be honest with you. I haven't even thought about the Pope for 10 years. Half my life almost. The last time I heard about the Pope was Pope Benedict resigning because, all the children touching. Allegedly, at least. If you're anything like me, though, don't believe in God, aren't Catholic, you probably don't care. You probably haven't thought twice about who's going to be the next Pope, who's going to replace Pope Francis. Because it's impossible, right? You can't just put any white guy in a robe, any old geezer. I mean, all he does is wave, right? That's all he does. Wrong. The Pope is in charge of 1.3 billion people. That's the size of China or India. That's, 3 or 4 United States. That's a lot of people. He's got a lot of influence. The UN lets the Pope sit in on all the UN conversations. The Pope knows what's going on more than probably these little crappy countries that nobody even thinks about. I can't even think of them. I don't even know their names because they don't matter. But the Pope knows. The Pope knows everything and will know everything. The Pope has a lot of influence. He speaks to presidents, emperors, I don't know what the other freaking things are called, but, big people who are in charge of militaries, armies. And you hope this all is for something good, for, so the church, the Catholic Church, can have good relations with these countries so that they can come in and, have their church and do humanitarian efforts and just be good. That's what we hope, right? But do we really believe that? Let's say the Pope's sitting in at a UN hearing and someone says something that's going to do something negative to the Catholic Church. Do you think the Pope just sits there and does nothing about it? What if at one of these meetings, and it doesn't even have to be at the UN, but let's say Russia, or better yet, Germany, somewhere in Europe where the Catholic Church is strong, Germany goes, we hate the Pope and the Catholic Church. Ugh. They're not going to just take that. That's going to lead somewhere where the Catholic Church doesn't like it. And the Catholic Church is, it's pretty much the biggest incel group of all time. They've been celibate, at least the bishops and whatever, preachers or whatever they're called, have been celibate for 900 years. That's more than the Americas, or more than America. They have so much built up cum, just loads of cum. They are exhausted. As an organization, they're going to explode. I'll tell you what, I was celibate for 20 years. 20. Not 900, 20. Pope Francis was 88. I don't know what he did before all the church stuff, but that's a long time to be backed up like that. That can mess a man up. My 20 years of celibacy, even though it may have not been on purpose, those were rough years, man. I did some dark things. Some dark things. All just because, there's testosterone, I mean, sure, I probably could have handled myself a little better in some instances. There's probably a few girls in middle school I should probably apologize to, but I think you get the point. It does a lot to someone. Just one person. And if this one person is in that same boat, but possibly worse, and now they're in charge of 1.3 billion people, and it's worldwide. They're not in borders. You don't have any geographical concerns. Anything they say goes. Wherever that is, wherever the people are. That's bigger than countries. For most people, religion is everything. Especially these Catholics. And I mean Catholics. Not, I go to church on Easter and Christmas. I mean Catholics. Like Catholics. For them, the Pope says something, they do it. They're a soldier. They just don't even know it. They're a missionary. Whatever you want to call it. And now these Catholics and the tops of their organization have a power vacuum. They may not seem it like on the inside, but you go behind those doors, you go to the Vatican, oh, trust me, there is some crazy stuff going down. People are, putting in reds with people's robes so they come out pink. So then all these archbishops or whatever they're called come out in pink robes instead of white, and they look like an idiot, so now nobody's going to vote for them to be the Pope. There is some nasty stuff like that, and it's happening behind closed doors. This isn't politics. It is political. It's not politics. It's not for the people. It happens behind closed doors. You can't be the next Pope if you got pink robes on. It just doesn't happen. So even if you're not Catholic, you might want to know what's going on behind these doors, or at least what happens after the fact. If one guy whose balls are about to explode with cum becomes the Pope, just a little, like his balls are a little too tight, that might be just enough for all-out war. And yeah, I know, you hear war and you're like, what? But they don't have any guns. They don't want to hurt anybody. It'll be worse than guns or nuclear bombs or drones. It'll be worse than that. There'll be Catholics on the corner with crosses and speakers singing, preaching, trying to get people into their church. And maybe, just maybe, you might have a little boy with you. And they really want you to come because you're going to bring the boy. But not always. And they're going to be everywhere. You thought the Mormons were bad. No, you just wait. You just get one bad pope. And not even a bad pope. Just like a stressed pope. You get a stressed pope at the top. And you're not going to see anything but crosses. And I got nothing against that. But keep that cross tucked in that shirt, man. Or woman. Or just let it hang freely. Don't be trying to get the demon out of me. Because I do got that dog in me. But I don't got no demon. Or everything you do, you're going to have to worry about some freaking annoying white lady. It's always a white lady telling you how you're going to go to hell for it. You won't even be able to drink and drive without people saying you're going to hell. You do it one time, people can't forgive you. Imagine the Catholics, just all because of some cum-filled raged man has had enough. He's good enough not to touch the children, but he still can't control himself. He's got to put that energy somewhere. And he's going to put it through 1.3 billion people across the world. And those people aren't going to know what to do with it. All this cum-filled rage is going to fill the world. And sure, in their hearts, it's going to be for love, prosperity, sharing God's word. But trust me, there is cum behind those lips. There is cum behind everything they say. These popes have not learned that sometimes you need to let it go. Jerk off a little bit. Wink here, wink there. Not a lot. Don't do it every day. Once a week's pretty good at most. But especially when it starts to control you. They need to learn to cock block themselves. And sometimes you gotta take the cock out of the equation in order to do that. And some people, like these popes, these priests, these bishops, they weren't given the opportunity to learn these skills like most of us have. They're just going out there in the world, bottling up all of this energy, all this built up energy. And little do they know, they've got a release valve. And I'm not saying to go touch yourself, but maybe, just maybe you need to. I've learned this for myself, that sometimes, like let's say you don't want to do something stupid, you let a little bit out. Sometimes you gotta tame the dragon. My problem is, I learned that in the wrong order. That's what the first thing I learned, is how to tame the dragon. Instead, you gotta get the dragon. You gotta learn how to capture the dragon. This is a different dragon in this scenario. And my problem is, I cock block myself. I can't even use these skills I've developed. This dragon is nowhere to be seen. I don't even get the chance to tame it. And I will stop using that as an analogy because I don't even understand it anymore. But let me tell you a story. And I might have just thought of this because the Pope died on Easter, and this just happened on Easter. But I was walking home from the gym, and about 30 or so feet in front of me, these two baddies, and I mean baddies. Whatever you think of when you think baddies, it's better than that. And there's two of them. And I pay no mind. I don't even try. In my mind, I can't do anything. If I say hi, they'll just laugh and kick me and run away. But as I'm walking, they keep looking back. They keep looking back at me. And I don't think anything of it. Honestly, I assumed they thought I was being weird. I thought they probably thought I was going to rape them. I wasn't going to. But sometimes it looks weird when you're kind of following two girls by yourself. And I wasn't. I was going home, but that's what it looks like. But they just keep looking back. They keep looking back. I'm not even paying attention. And then eventually one waves, and I don't do anything. And the other one waves, and now they're kind of waving like, hello, do you see us? So now I'm looking back. There's no one behind me. They're waving at me. But I still think they're like, hey, we see you. You can't rape us. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to go home. And then they go, hi, hello. At this point, you would think, oh, you realize something else going on here. Maybe they don't think I'm gonna touch them. Maybe, just maybe, they just want to say hi. See where it goes. But no, I don't even give a nod. I don't even look in their direction. I just keep walking. And eventually I have to turn to go to my apartment. And I thought nothing of it. Apparently, I was just so excited to go home and play Block Blast on my phone that I didn't even consider the situation. I didn't even think about it. I don't even know what just happened. I'm so dumb that I didn't even realize that when someone is smiling, waving, talking to you, and again, I double checked. There is no one behind me. There is no one else around. It is clearly me they're talking to, who clearly wanted to get my attention for some reason. And in this scenario, I think it was something I would have enjoyed. No, not me. I ain't saying hi. I'm just going home. I got mobile games to play. I've got better things going on. Because I have better things to do than meet women as a single man in a new city with no friends, with nothing. But what I do have is mobile games. I have mobile games. Mobile games don't let you down. So of course I'm not thinking about this gift by nature that was just handed to me. Apparently, I was just dripping with pure sexual attraction. And I just had no idea. I am just a magnet for these women. And yet I'm so focused on the task in hand that I am not even aware. My brain cannot keep up with the sexual attraction that I lend to this world.